What if some of the strangest holes on Earth are not what we think they are? Look at this. This is not a meteor impact. It was made by humans. On July 6, 1962, the United States detonated a 104-kiloton nuclear device underground in Nevada. The explosion created a crater roughly 390 meters wide and almost 100 meters deep. 12 million tons of Earth were displaced, and here's the important part. The blast happened underground. The explosion created an enormous cavity beneath the surface. Then the ground collapsed into it, and when you look at the result from above, it looks remarkably simple, a giant circular hole in the Earth. Now remember that shape, because we're about to travel thousands of kilometers away. Turkey. This is Kızören Obruğu, a nearly circular depression filled with deep blue water. It is around 180 meters long, 150 meters wide, and approximately 145 meters deep. According to geology, this is a natural karst formation. Water slowly dissolved the limestone beneath the surface, creating underground cavities. Eventually, the rock above collapsed. No bomb, no explosion, just geology. But look at the shape, and then look back at Nevada. One was created by an underground nuclear explosion, the other supposedly formed naturally. So here's our first question. How similar can two completely different processes look from the sky? But Kızören is not the only one. China has something far more extreme, Shaozhai Tiankeng, a hole approximately 626 meters long, 537 meters wide, and up to 662 meters deep. That's deeper than many skyscrapers are tall, and it's not an isolated curiosity. China contains a huge concentration of these enormous structures. They are called Tiankeng, literally heavenly pits. Some are hundreds of meters deep, some contain forests, some connect to underground rivers and enormous cave systems, and then there's Dashuwei, another enormous vertical depression, around 600 meters across and more than 600 meters deep. From the air, these formations can look almost impossible, but now the question becomes uncomfortable. Why do we keep finding giant circular or oval holes on completely different parts of the planet? Turkey, China, Oman, the Caribbean, Croatia, Papua New Guinea, different continents, different landscapes, but sometimes the same breathtaking geometry. So let's test the nuclear hypothesis, not believe it, not dismiss it, test it. Because there is one thing we already know for certain. A nuclear explosion can create a giant collapse crater. We have the crater. We know the weapon. We know the energy. We know exactly when it happened. Now, what would we expect to find if something similar happened thousands of years ago? If an ancient nuclear explosion created one of these structures, we should expect evidence, not just a circular shape. We should expect physical signatures left behind by an enormous explosion, radiation, unusual isotopes, melted or altered rock, shock effects, something. And this is where the investigation takes a turn, because modern nuclear craters give us a perfect laboratory. The Sedan crater still contains measurable radioactive contamination. Scientists can detect specific isotopes around the site. The explosion left a geological fingerprint. Now compare that with a natural karst sinkhole. Rainwater enters cracks in limestone. The water slowly dissolves the rock. Underground cavities become larger. Eventually, the roof can no longer support itself, and the surface collapses. No bomb required, and this mechanism isn't hypothetical. It happens today. Sinkholes can form when groundwater dissolves limestone, gypsum, salt, and other soluble rocks. Some develop slowly, others collapse suddenly, and some can become enormous. So does that destroy the nuclear theory? For the famous examples we've examined, there is currently no evidence showing that they were created by ancient nuclear explosions. The geological explanation is much stronger. But there's still something fascinating here. We now know that humans can create enormous artificial craters. We know nature can create even larger ones. And when you see both from thousands of meters above, the difference can almost disappear. So the real mystery isn't, who nuked the Earth? It's this: How much of the world beneath our feet still has a story we haven't discovered? Maybe the real mystery isn't who made these holes, but what was happening beneath them long before humans arrived.